Keith, coming into York on Friday after a bit of defeat against Whitehaven, how are the lads feeling? How are the coaching staff feeling as well?
Yeah, it's always nice doing an interview and a review of the game after a defeat, especially at home. Obviously, everybody's quite disappointed, and sometimes these things happen. We understand they came and they had nothing to lose, and everything went well for them. We underperformed, but you can't take anything away from Whitehaven. But it doesn't define you as a team. We understand champion teams still lose, so there's still opportunities to get back on the horse. All the sayings will be coming out, and it's a big game. It's a big game against York. Obviously, they get one over us in the 1895 Challenge Cup. So it's not about revenge. It's about us trying to correct some of the wrongs that we put in on this pitch, and especially on the home fans. So hopefully there's been a bit of soul searching between the lads, because it weren't pretty fair for us coaches to watch that game again. But you always try and look at positives, and to be fair, we still had plenty of opportunities, and we created plenty of opportunities to still score tries. But to concede 40 points, it's just not good enough.
Of course, the lads won't be looking behind them in the league, but it is a tight league, so obviously we've got to get back on the horse as soon as possible. So just how big is this game against York this Friday?
It's huge, and that's some of the disappointing aspect about it. We had an opportunity to sort of like cement second a little bit and create a bit of breathing space, but that has been taken away now, through every fault of our own. And it just means that it's just getting a little bit more interesting. Like I said, that middle area, potentially you can lose 2-3 games and you can be 7th, 8th, 9th in the table. So that makes it exciting for the fans. Also adds that little bit of pressure, but pressure brings out the best in people or the worst. So I suppose over the next 3 to 4 to 5 weeks, you'll start seeing the mettle of this as a team. If it's going to be a championship team, if it's going to be a team that's pushing for the top 6 to the top 4 for the top 2, over the next few weeks could potentially define how the season could go. And we pinpointed this period, this middle third, as quite an important period. Started off that first third really well, but the teams are improving, the other teams are improving, so we need to improve. And we've had a blip, we've had a slip up, and like I said, we took some soul searching from the boys. Hopefully they've watched the game like we've had to do, and relived some of the errors, but individual errors which are better than structured team errors. That's the thing, and hopefully they've took it personal, and they're a little bit embarrassed about some of their efforts.
Talking to Bish, mentioned Tyler's interview, and he said that the players could kind of sense something were off after the games against like Swinton and Newcastle. They weren't the most polished of performances. How much will it take for the lads to kind of turn that around this Friday? Because it's more of a mental thing than anything else as well.
Yeah, mentality comes into a lot of things, and we strive for perfection, which you'll never achieve, but you always want to be the best that you can be. And it's a tough gig, and you don't want to come up with excuses and people working and all the elements of training as well, and family life, and sometimes you get them stale periods throughout the season, and potentially this could be a stale period for us. So it's ways to look around. How can we revive the team? How can we revive the players? How can we instill that little bit of confidence in them, because you don't become a bad player overnight. We are missing a few key players, and we'll be looking forward to welcoming Titus back in the next few weeks, hopefully, because he's a big part of the team, and he brings that tough, strong mentality. And it can get challenging and it can get hard, but only they can turn this around as well. We're doing what we can behind the scenes as a coaching staff, reviewing and working on little elements and where can we tweak things, but sometimes you can overanalyze things and you can find problems when they're not there. And I think this is one of them periods where we don't want to look too deep just yet, because these things happen. It's not acceptable, but you have to accept it, and you have to move on, and the quicker we move on, the better.
You said about the return of Titus, maybe a few weeks, a couple of months maybe, but also like Anthony Thackeray, Ollie Roberts, Aaron Murphy, a lot of talent on the sidelines, some closer to coming back, maybe the likes of Fax than others maybe.
Yeah, Yeah, you know, Thax is no spring chicken anymore, is he? But he's still a quality halfback, and he can still change games and do things. And you know, we had to manage him a little bit at the weekend. He had a little bit of a niggle. So, but the people that came in, that's the thing. This is a squad team. This is a squad of players. We've got a big squad. We're not in the process of just playing people to keep people happy, because you've got to earn that right to get out on that pitch. But you've also got to think about the older end as well, and against the team, and this is no disrespect to Whitehaven, the bottom end of the table, they came here probably expecting to get beat, and again that can be a part of the mental aspect in itself. We're coming up against York, and we know the boys will be up for that, but again, you know, we can overanalyse, and we can look at the situation before, and did we do the right preparation for York? Did we get the right mentality out of the players? We can look at them things, but we know that coming this Friday evening, after the performance that they've put out, it needs a response. So it's interesting to see what response the players put out there.